Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the end of the week number 34 in this Road to 100k Realized Return Challenge, and this was a week that is a bit bittersweet because even though markets appear to have started to turn the corner in terms of their pessimism, and so we may be going towards a period in which there might be some overall recovery in the markets, but even so, markets behaved in a way in which there is a lot of volatility. Uh, Things changed over the course of a trading session, completely upside down, and that basically put a dent in our ability to make profit and to basically continue to accumulate our realized returns. Just for you to get an example, here this is our score for the week. I will address this, but we had to take up a loss yesterday on Friday. But as you can see here, we could only muster around $485 for the entire week. Which is suboptimal given the amount of funds that we are investing. But yeah, we'll address those points one by one. So basically, as you can see here, and looking at the chart, and assuming, of course, this chart is close to the Nasdaq, and if you look at the entire week, as you can see here, it's up and down all the way. As I mentioned in the beginning of the week, we had this massive run up here, which ended up nearly costing us dearly, but for some reason markets then crumbled down right at the end of the session, and so we basically were allowed to keep our shares, and our call options expire worthless at the moment. But then there was a big tumble in the markets in here, but even so, we can deal with this kind of situation as it occurred on Tuesday, because there was some slight volatility, but not that much. This was a pretty standard day for us. However, this is where things started to get a little bit more difficult, especially on starting on Wednesday, because on Wednesday this is where the Fed basically disclosed, or Fed Chairman Mr. Jerome Powell, came up with the outcome of the Fed meetings in terms of what is going to happen in the interest rates at this meeting and their outlook for the coming weeks. And here, as you can see, markets were already trending up or slightly up, moving towards this press conference from the Fed chairman. But then once the press conference took place, and keep in mind that by this time we had already rolled over one of our calls on the QQQ, because in the meantime, basically, with this kind of behavior, the options were basically worthless, and so we, as you can see here, these options which were sold here on the 19th here were basically worthless at this point. However, as you can see here, we could not we simply could not sell them, because at this point, even though they were basically worthless at this point, given how little time value they had to recover until the strike price of 487, once the press conference took place, they had a huge run up all the way to 485, and at this point they were no longer nearly worthless, and so we had basically to keep them, and we could not roll over our positions, our calls with another strike price to get some more premium. So basically we had to stick with the calls that we sold at the beginning of the trading day. Now on Thursday, another situation happened, which is basically in pre-market trading, the markets came down by a lot, by over 1%, and it was at this point at which we sold our calls. But then we had to contend again to a big run up in price, which almost took us towards to those calls being in the money. Keep in mind here that we sold these calls at that precise moment with a strike price of 486, because the market opened at the time at around 476, as you can see here. However, in this run up they went to 485, so our calls were nearly at the money, even though then prices came down a little bit, and we were able to roll over to a lower strike and still collect some additional premium, even though it was very small one. But then the same thing happened here, and even though there was another crash, not another crash, but markets came down again in pre-market trading, but as soon as the trading day opened, it went up, barring this minor correction, but still they continued to go up. But things were pretty stable at the moment, and our strike price, our initial strike price of 484, was never in danger, which was at the moment right here. However, and this was a very unfortunate point, and I'm going to zoom it out here for you to see. At the end of the day, we had this situation over here, which basically led us to have a loss. I'm going to put this in our local time so you can have a better idea. So basically what happened was that as you can see here, and I'm going to show you now the trades that we did. So basically this was very close to the market close, so this was already only 45 minutes before the market was going to close. Keep in mind that this was a Friday afternoon. Volume tends to be relatively less than on other moments of the trading days all across the week, so usually trading gets to be a little bit more subdued because there is less volume available. And so in here, it was around this moment in which I felt, all right, the options are worthless, the ones with the strike of 484, and so let's roll over to a lower one. Keep in mind that the stock price was around 478, so and the strike price that we basically used was this one, 481, so it was still a bit of distance, and with 45 minutes left, this was a good opportunity for us to make some more premium. However, apparently, and I then watched the news, and apparently what happened was that President Trump, the US President Trump, gave some sort of press conference or disclosed to the market then there is scope for some flexibility on the tariffs that he wants to implement. And so this had basically a ripple effect on the optimism of the investors over these last few minutes, and the market just ran up. And as you can see here, and this is the last one, but I'm going to show anyway the closing of the market here. So it's right here. No, this is not yet, so let's push it right here. So where is it? This is 1 month, this is 6 months. So yeah, but basically as you can see here, this is 489, so it is still showing the so you can see it in here, because for some reason this is not giving me the days, but in 1 day intervals. Yes, so the problem here was that the market, and I'm going to show you again with the daily, with the 1 day graphic. So basically, as you can see here, the price breached our strike, and yes, this was the candle that I wanted to show you. And here, as you can see, it was just around the 481, and because of that, and right until the dying moments of the trading day, the stock was around 481, 481.10, 481.5, and so we basically could not keep the options. We had to buy those back. We could not keep the position, and so we had to buy the calls back so that we keep our shares. do not sell and realize this large loss, which is this unrealized loss, which is currently around 16,000. So basically we had to call it back to and realize this loss of $100. Basically, this was not actually $100 loss because we received some premium, but still it negated our gains for the day, and basically we ended the day with a loss of around $30. It's a minor hit given the context of the week, but as you can see here, these movements in the trading over the trading day were really something that was significant in a negative way to our trading, because all of this volatility, as you can see here, uh, going up and down in sharp moves, is something that we cannot have, because otherwise our positions, not only we cannot roll over our positions as they go worthless in fear of the positions all of a sudden go into the money, and we always want our positions to remain out of the money, but then it does not allow us to roll over, and the positions take much longer to expire, to become worthless. And so it's a double whammy that really is not friendly to our strategy, but yeah, we have to hope for better days and see what's going to happen. When it comes to Pfizer, again, it was not a remarkable week by any means. If we look at the graph here for the week, it recovered from its low, but still remained, barring this high here, it remained pretty much with low volatility all the way through. And so our calls expired basically worthless, and we get to keep the shares for another week. And as things stand at the moment, we know that we have a dividend coming on May. We'll try basically to sell the shares before that, but basically there's an upside, which is now that the stock has recovered a little bit in price, we may be on course, and assuming we sell some calls here for with the strike price for next week, 26.50, we may be on course. As you can see, if we sell 28 calls, we'll be on course to collect somewhere around $500 or something close to that. But yeah, the way it is, let's hope that this situation is averted and this market dynamic of high volatility reverts and becomes less volatile. The good thing is that, as you can see, apparently markets turned may have been turned the corner this week. This week the overall market was slightly up, so yeah, maybe some changes are coming. When it comes to our earnings, and I've already reviewed this account statement, you can see here it's up all the way up to March 21st. And given the fact that here, looking at this, at the pages in which we have the realized and unrealized gains, given that we have no unrealized gains, I assume, and rightly so, as you can see here, the calls that we sold for this week, they have nothing unrealized, they are already realized, so they basically accounted for all the gains and all the losses. We have all our losses in here for this last call on QQQ. We also have the one we initially sold, and we have the gain here, so we have no unrealized losses. That means that this total is perfectly accurate. So now we are currently at $32,912.78, and this is the value that we have to start with the next week's the challenge for next week. And so for the time being, this is all. Let's see how next week develops. In the meantime, feel free to leave your comments and your questions in the comment section down below. Also, feel free to drop me a DM on LinkedIn in case you have any questions. And of course, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we'll reconvene next Monday to start week number 35 of this challenge. And I'll see you there.